For what I just heard, I think you hit it out the park, Ella Man. But I know these great minds here. Dr. Fair, talk to us. Talk to us.
Certainly. And thank you again, Bishop Hankerson and Bishop Bell as well. Thrilled to be here with you all and my brothers this evening. I would argue that there is a real dearth of teaching that is happening right now in most of our churches. What I mean by teaching, I mean teaching doctrine. The Hebrew Israelites, although they are wrong, unfortunately, many of us cannot counter what they're teaching. Number one, because we don't. What I mean by teaching, I mean teaching doctrine, my brothers this evening. I would argue that there is a real dearth of teaching. And thank you again, Bishop Hankerson and Bishop Bell as well. Thrilled to be here with you all and my brothers this evening. I would argue that there is a real dearth of teaching that is happening right now in most of our churches. What I mean by teaching, I mean teaching doctrine. The Hebrew Israelites, although they are wrong, unfortunately, many of us cannot counter what they're teaching. Number one, because we don't understand it. We haven't studied it in a way, how Paul was able to really counter false doctrine because he understood it. And so, number one, understanding that false doctrine. I think that systematic teaching, when we think about it, is vital. Teaching a proper doctrine will lead to duty. If I understand doctrine in its purest intent, I know my particular responsibility. I know the collective responsibility of the.
All right, Shalom Akim. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Rakakwadash, for allowing us to do another lesson. Yahweh is who the world inwardly calls God. Yahweh Shai is his son, who the world inwardly calls Jesus Christ. And there's no God beside. I want to give double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elect. Today's lesson is going to go into how truth beareth the victory. Going into this panel of Christian pastors, right? Basically trying to call out the Hebrew Israelites, all right, for the reason why they don't have the, they don't have the light of the world. However, if you understand the scriptures, you understand that at the end of the day, at the end of every kingdom, right, the word of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, and which he put in the words of his prophets, will come to pass. The RFID chip will come to pass, which is the MOTB, Revelations 13 and 16. World War III will come to pass. Desolation will come to pass. The scriptures say in Jeremiah 28 and 8, right, that the prophets that have been before me and before thee prophesied both against many kingdoms and against, let's just grab it. This is Jeremiah chapter 28, verse 8. The prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms, of war and of evil and of pestilence. The prophet which prophesied of peace, when the word of the prophet shall come to pass, then shall the prophet be known that Yahweh hath truly sent him. And these guys out here is not prophesying about the destruction coming to this place, And the thing is, they think that we had something to do with waking these guys up. All we go, especially us at Great Millstone, right? We don't hold no punches. We don't spare no feelings. We go out there and tell you what it is. And if you don't like it, oh well. And yet, our numbers are still growing daily. Why is that? Because, as Yahweh Shai said, my sheep hear my voice and they know me. Yahweh Shai told, he prayed to the Father in John 17, saying that he gave his sheep his word, right? Sirach 1 and 13 basically speaks about how wisdom was born. The Most High planted wisdom, right, in the seed of certain men. So when they grow up and then get to a certain age, guess what? They're gonna, they're going to, wisdom and truth is gonna resonate with them. They're gonna come out of the Christian church. They're gonna come out of Catholicism. They're gonna come out of Islam and all that nonsense, right? So this is the book of St. John, chapter. Just grab it right here in the Mosque World, because it might be a few precepts I want to get, right? So this is the book of St. John, chapter 5, verse 8. Yahushua said unto him, Shlakia, St. John chapter 5, verse 7. The impotent man, right? The feeble man, the powerless man, answer him, Sir, I have no man when the water is troubled to put me into the pool. But while I am coming, another steppeth down before me. Yahushua saith unto him, Rise, take up thy bed, and walk. And immediately the man was made whole, and took up his bed, and walked. And on the same day was the Sabbath. The Jews therefore said unto him that was cured, It is the Sabbath day, it is not lawful for thee to carry thy bed. He answered them, He that made me whole, the same said unto me, Take up thy bed and walk. Then asked they him, What man is that which said unto thee, Take up thy bed and walk? And he that was healed was not who it was, for Yahushua had conveyed himself away, a multitude being in that place. Right? So Yahushua did the miracle and he kept it moving. Afterward, Yahushua finding him in the temple and said unto him, Behold, thou art made whole. Sin no more, lest a worse thing come unto thee. The man departed and told the Jews that it was Yahushua which had made him whole. And therefore did the Jews persecute Yahushua and sought to slay him. You know? So here it is. We bringing him out of death. And these niggas want to bring them back to, they want to bring them back. You know, as the guys were saying, I don't know if I played that part, but there's a part where one of the guys was saying where, we got to bring these guys back to Christ. You know, these black Hebrew, these black guys, these black brothers, these Hebrew Israelites, we got to bring them back to Christ. Right? So here it is. We're teaching you of the scriptures, which apparently, like he just said out of his own mouth, they have no understanding of what we teach, which we teach the scriptures, what they're supposedly believing in, right? But they want to bring them back to Christ, showing you that that's another God. That's not Yahushua, right? It may say Jesus Christ, but we understand that that's not the spirit of Hamashiach Yahushua. The man departed and told the Jews that it was Yahushua which had made him whole. And therefore did the Jews persecute Yahushua and sought to slay him, because he had done these things on the Sabbath day. But Yahushua answered them, My Father worketh hitherto, and I work. Right? So Yahushua understood it wasn't of him that did the work. It was of his Father that did the work. Right? Because, you had many that seen the miracles. Right? So it was no reason why they shouldn't have believed, but yet they didn't. Right? The scriptures speak about how they call him Beelzebub. That's where Yahushua said, Satan cast out Satan, how can this kingdom stand? Right? So Yahushua did the work of Yahweh. Right? We do the work of Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua. It's not of ourselves. Therefore, the Jews sought the more to kill him, because he not only had broken the Sabbath, but said also that God was his Father. And it really hurts them that we are this confident in what we speak about. As it says in Wisdom of Solomon, the 2nd chapter, they profess at the end of the just to be blessed and say that the Heavenly Father is their God. That God is their Father. He not only had broken the Sabbath, but said also that God was his Father, making himself equal with God. Then answered Yahushua and said unto them, Verily, verily, I say unto you, the Son can do nothing of himself, but what he seeth the Father do, for what things soever he doeth, these also doeth the Son likewise. Yahushua said, Ye have not chosen me, but I have chosen you. Right? We don't go out there and choose anybody. We just speak expressly through the Spirit, and whoever, is it touches the right way, well, that's a beautiful thing, right? And we understand that more is not going to receive it than those that do receive it. More is going to get butthurt and come up against us than those that do, but we still go out there and put our lives on the line, right? Because we believe in this wholeheartedly. It says, For the Father loveth the Son, and sheweth him all things that himself doeth, right? Hey, and if Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua loves you, guess what? You're going to have 100% truth. He's going to give you proper understanding of the Old Testament, all right, and how it correlates with the New Testament, and how the New Testament and how the Old and New Testament correlates with prophecy and history, things that have been and things that are to come. For as the Father raiseth up the dead and quickeneth them, even so the Son quickeneth whom he will. Right? And that's the case. Right? The scriptures say, through the fear of the Lord, we persuade men. To where a man may not be necessarily powerless as far as he can't walk, but he's powerless as far as having a mind set of his oppressor. Okay? But then he has power because he come to realize who he is. He come to realize that he's a prince of the power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. To everything that was told to him before as far as his skin color, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. The way he looks, his skin color, where he comes from, just all of that, his physical appearance, where this world may look down upon that, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua is that, from his so-called nappy hair, to his brown or bronze or dark skin. It says, For as the Father raiseth up the dead and quickeneth them, even so the Son quickeneth whom he will. For the Father judgeth no man, but hath committed all judgment unto the Son, that all men should honor the Son, even as they honor the Father. He that honoreth not the Son honoreth not the Father which hath sent him. Verily, verily, I say unto you, he that heareth my word and believeth on him that sent me have everlasting life, and shall not come into condemnation. Now the word condemnation meaning into judgment, right? When these words come out, we don't get butthurt. We actually appreciative. It says, especially concerning justice and injustice, right or wrong. Right? So it says, shall not come into condemnation. Right? Because this word is as fire. And the scriptures say in Zechariah 13 that some shall pass through the fire and get destroyed, and some shall pass through the fire and be cleansed. Roughly paraphrasing. Right? And that's the judgment. Whether it be for you for your good or for you for you to buck up against, and ultimately, all right, have a date with a nuclear missile or a chariot, a laser beam from a chariot, but it's passed from death unto life. Verily, verily, I say unto you, the hour is coming, and now is, when the dead shall hear the voice of the Son of God, and they that hear shall live. For as the Father hath life in himself, so hath he given to the Son to have life in himself, and have given him authority to execute judgment also, because he is the Son of Man. Marvel not at this, for the hour is coming. And let me read that again at verse 26. For as the Father hath life in himself, so hath he given to the Son to have life in himself. And likewise to us, as the scriptures say, they that believe on me shall flow out of rivers of living water. So there won't be a dearth. All right. The scriptures say in Proverbs 4:18, that the light of the just is shining more and more until the perfect day. So here it is, prophecy is happening, and there's a dearth. What do you mean? You know, that shows you that the Lord is not with you, and I have given him authority to execute judgment also because he is the Son of Man. He told Daniel to go into his time of the end, and he shall stand in his lot. He also spoke to Daniel and told him that at the end knowledge shall be increased. So it says, marvel not at this, for the hour is coming in the which all that are in the graves shall hear his voice, and shall come forth, they that have done good unto the resurrection of life, and they that have done evil unto the resurrection of damnation. I can of my own self do nothing. As I hear, I judge, and my judgment is just. And they hate the fact that we come out of the scriptures, man. That's why they don't understand us. Right? And as brothers already noted, when you watch that panel, there was no scriptures brought up. Right? Just a bunch of opinions. And my judgment is just, because I seek not my own will, but the will of the Father which hath sent me. If I bear witness of myself, my witness is not true. There was another that beareth witness of me, and I know that the witness which he witnesses of me is true. He sent unto John, and he bare witness unto the truth. But I receive not testimony from men, but these things I say, that ye might be saved. Right? So this is it's a good chapter. I just want to grab a few verses on that, just to prove that it's not of us, right? This is the book of Acts, chapter 5, verse 38. And now I say unto you, refrain from these men and let them alone. For if this counsel or this work be of men, it will come to naught. But if it be of God, ye cannot overthrow it, lest happily ye be found even to fight against God. Right? And when you go into the book of Acts, right? And I believe it was that Acts 4th chapter. Let's see. Right? Because after Yahushua did his work, he passed it on down to his disciples. His disciples had power. You know what I'm saying? And many believed. And we're in a time to where it's evident. It is evident, man. All right, what the MOTB is. All right, that World War III is on the brink. It's evident, man. As a matter of fact, I want to show brothers. I was watching. Let's see. I think the brother right, Swedes are getting COVID passports injected. Acts 2 verse 46. And they continuing daily with one accord, right? And as I think of daily, I think of what's that, Malachi 3? That says grab it real quick. I'm gonna come back to this. Right, but this is Malachi 3:18. uh 3:16. Then they that feared the Lord spake often one to another, and Yahweh hearkened and heard it, and a book of remembrance was written before him for them that feared Yahweh and that thought upon his name. Right? And when you go into the book of Acts, those that thought upon his name receive spiritual powers to wake up the dead. Right? When things happen, the disciples was constantly getting on them like, listen, these things happen through the power of him whom you rejected, through Yahweh Shai, you know? And through that, I'm going to keep reading this. And they shall be mine, saith Yahweh of hosts, in that day when I make up my Jews, and I spare them, as a man spareth his own son that serveth him. Right? You know, and we standing boldly for the scriptures. The scriptures say, then shall you return and discern between the righteous and the wicked. Because at the end of the day, some shall depart from the faith, giving heed to seducing spirits and doctrines of devils, between him that serveth God and him that serveth him not. Right? And those that serve God is going to be increasing. Right? They're going to have the answers when shit hits the fan. Right? It says in what's that, Matthew 25? They that heard the call arose and trimmed their lamps, and they was ready for the appearing of Yahweh Shai, roughly paraphrasing. Right? Well, basically the synopsis of the story in Matthew 25, which speaks about how you had 10 virgins who got the call, 5 got their shit together, and 5 just continued on their folly. And when the Lord came, some was ready and others wasn't. Right? And they continuing their leaders back at Acts 2 and 46. And they continuing daily with one accord in the temple, and breaking bread from house to house, they eat their meat with gladness and singleness of heart, praising God and having favor with all the people. And the Lord added to the church daily such as should be saved. Right? What does it say in 1 Corinthians 4? Right? It is appointed to the apostles, basically last. 1 Corinthians 4:9. For I think that God hath set forth us, the apostles, last, as it were appointed to death, for we have made a spectacle unto the world, and to angels, and to men. Right? So the Most High set the stage for us last, you know. This is 1 Esdras, chapter 4, verse 37. Wine is wicked, the king is wicked, women are wicked, all the children of men are wicked, and such are all their wicked works, and there is no truth in them, and their unrighteousness also they shall perish. As for the truth, it endureth, and it is always strong, it liveth and conquereth forevermore. Right? And another word for the elect are more than conquerors. As it was the Apostle Paul said, we are more than conquerors. You know, I believe the brother out there in Dallas. I remember he was, brought that up. I was like, man, that's pretty spiritual, man. Romans 8 and 37. Nay, all these things we are more than conquerors through him that loved us. Who are the we? The elect, the ones that held fast the truth. Right? So this is 1 Esdras 4 and 38. As for the truth, it endureth and is always strong, it liveth and conquereth forevermore. Right? And it's conquering it through the men whom Yahweh Shai have given it to. With her there is no accepting of persons or rewards, but she doeth the things that are just, and refraining from all unjust and wicked things. So that's why not everybody can get it. And all men do well like of her works. Neither in her judgment is any unrighteousness. And she is the strength, kingdom, power, and majesty of all ages. Blessed be the God of truth. And with that he held his peace, and all the people then shouted and said, great is truth, and mighty above all things. Right? So Lord willing, you are edified. Shalom to the elect.